All right, guys, welcome to the Bear Fruit Show. We have our special guest today, David Meltzer.
My Apple TV deal with Martha Stewart, developing TV shows for entrepreneurs. You will have fun. You will enjoy.
And you're absolutely right. People really allow the past to hold them back instead of allow it to be something to learn from.
Yeah, well, I'm blessed to have some of the biggest billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, entertainers as mentors of mine, agreeing with your philosophy of bearing fruit. Find someone that's already in that situation and ask them for help, ask them to direct you. So when people say, hey, I can't do this or I won't do this, they haven't understood the perspective of how to live in abundance, how to be productive, accessible, and gracious with their time.
That speaks to me because that's exactly what my parents did when I was a sophomore in high school in San Diego, making really dumb decisions. And my parents said, nope, we're taking you. We moved up we literally sold the house, put everything on the street, sold it that week. We moved up to Washington State.
The consistent every day, persistent without quit, pursuit of your own potential. Not what other people want for you, not what's missing, not what you don't have, but what you want.
All right, guys, welcome to the Bear Fruit Show. We have our special guest today, David Meltzer. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, David. So David Meltzer is a legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, an investor, co-founder of Sports One Marketing, and formerly served as a CEO renowned with Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency. His life mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, right? That's a big statement right there. And this is simply yet powerful mission has led him on an incredible journey to provide one thing, and that's value. So that's an amazing kind of mission statement packed into something that's super powerful. So let's start with that, David. Like, what is the one activity that you're doing to impact 1 billion people? That's a big statement.
Yeah, so I utilize my content in all different formats. So everything from lives that I do every day to Ask Me Anythings, to meetups, to speeches around the world, to several different podcasts, from the playbook to Game Set Life, to my Apple TV deal with Martha Stewart, developing TV shows for entrepreneurs on Apple TV, to coaching that I do Free Friday trainings for over 23 years. I have groups that meet me every Monday. I do one-on-one coaching. I have business advisory with some of the biggest companies in the world. But the purpose of all of that content is to find 1,000 people like you, Kyle, that I know in your life will empower 1,000 to empower 1,000 with their values, their daily practices, their execution model to create abundance, to create a mindset, a heart set, and a handset of making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the fun part. How do, in the midst of all the busyness, how is that? How do you make sure that you're still having fun along the way?
Yeah, well, first of all, you don't believe in busy. I don't believe in work. Busy people are unavailable. So for me, I have 3 lenses that I utilize. One is understanding today and the limitations of today, understanding the past and the limitation of the past, and understanding the future within the lenses of one, productivity, which is to provide value. I wrote a ton of books and have done a ton of speeches about providing value and being productive. Accessible, how are we accessible to others? Reaffirming, confirming a unified, abundant, infinite system of thought. And how are we accessing what we want? Understanding and focusing attention and intention on what we want today and a trajectory of what we think we want in the future. And then finally, gratitude, finding and utilizing a lens of gratitude to find the light, the love, the lessons, and everything that we do. And when you utilize this, what I call Meltzer kaleidoscope of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, you will have fun. You will enjoy the consistent every day, persistent without quit, pursuit of your own potential. Not what other people want for you, not what's missing, not what you don't have, but what you want. And I find a lot of people that they create interference in their lives. They use meanings of the past and say, oh, I can't do this because I can't do this. Well, that just shows me that they need help on productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, that they are limiting themselves by the meaning of their past, the defining moments, the setbacks, failures, mistakes, successes, circumstances of their past. They haven't aligned those with the trajectory they think they want to be on, and they're limiting themselves for the future. You can never overachieve your own self-image. So when people say, hey, I can't do this, or I won't do this, they haven't understood the perspective of how to live in abundance, how to be productive, accessible, and gracious with their time.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I appreciate your time here. And you're absolutely right. People really allow the past to hold them back instead of allow it to be something to learn from and use it as almost like a superpower to change other people's lives. So I think that's amazing that you're helping people look through that lens and really forgetting what's behind and straining towards what's ahead to make an impact on this world. So with that said, so the show, the Bear Fruit Show, what we're doing here is, I had a mentor once tell me, go find somebody with fruit on the tree and learn from them and let their ceiling be your floor. And so that's what I've done in every aspect of my life, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. And so who is someone in your life, David, that you saw after that had a profound impact on your life? And there's probably multiple people, but who's that one person? What was that big takeaway that you took that really allowed you to shoot out of the cannon?
Yeah, well, I'm blessed to have some of the biggest billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, entertainers as mentors of mine, agreeing with your philosophy of bearing fruit. I would say the fastest and easiest way to get to where you want to be is find someone that's already in that situation and ask them for help, ask them to direct you towards where they are or better. But for me, one of the most impactful people was Wayne Dyer. Dr. Wayne Dyer changed the way I looked at things. So the things I looked at changed. He challenged me. For example, we both have 3 daughters, right?
Yeah.
I use, my daughters, my family as an excuse, even to the point of my health. I always said my family comes first, and then I would justify why I wasn't where I wanted to be because of my family. I would justify why I wasn't with my family because I would, put in my family first. I'd say, oh, I'm doing this for them. So understanding Dr. Wayne Dyer, the power of intention, understanding what I pay attention to and what I do, say, think, believe, and feel in the trajectory of what I think I want is essential to the mathematical equation of life, which is what I pay attention to, what I give intention to equals the coincidences, the consequences, and the karma of my life. It's a mathematical equation to be lucky. And Dr. Wayne Dyer taught me that. And I've been blessed by him my entire career.
Yeah, that's amazing. So to have like whatever you're paying attention to is going to be magnified, and really not making excuses. You saying, hey, I want to be, a lot of people are at the beach but they're thinking about work. And then when they're at work, they're thinking about the beach and they're not being focused on where they're actually at. So that's really good. If you could teach somebody, one thing, what would that one thing be? If you had 30 seconds with somebody or a minute with somebody and you wanted to change their life forever, what would be that one thing?
I would teach them to ask for help in person, on the phone, via email, social media, traditional media. I teach them how to ask, to meet people where they're asked, to ask them what they're doing today pertaining to what I want to talk about, what they like and what they don't like, notating that value is provided by giving people more of what they like and taking away what they don't like, and then asking for help, saying, would it help you if I did this? And do you know anyone that can help me? I have an open-ended question template that I teach people how to ask for help. But if I went back to my own self when I was 15, 25, 35, 45, or even 55, I would tell myself the easiest and fastest way to get to where I want to be is to ask for help, have radical humility in my life.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. Asking for help. I love that. I think you're right. Staying humble and staying hungry, and in that process is learning to ask for help. You said you had a template. Where could people find that template, or what's a good place for people, if they're like, hey, I want to learn how to ask for help. I know I need it. I know I should ask, but I don't know how.
Yeah, well, for your community, I'd be happy. I have an exercise, an asking for help exercise, and I'll include my book. So I'll sign one of my books for your community. I'll pay for the book and shipping. So if anyone wants to email me directly, David david@dmeltzer.com. Put it in the notes. First name david@dmeltzer.com. Not only will I send you the Ask for Help guide, but I'll also send you my book. I'll sign it, send it to you, pay for the book and shipping for your community, Kyle.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, David. Awesome. A few more things here I wanted to ask. What was the if you could teach your kids one thing right now, and obviously you got 3 daughters and a son, but if you could teach them one thing and live it out, what would that one thing be?
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
So, the aggregate effect of who you surround yourself with, the right people and the right ideas, that has always helped me be worth over $100 million. It caused me to lose everything and it helped me get it all back and more. And so the one lesson of understanding, surrounding yourself with the right people and the right ideas, by showing me your friends, I can show you your future, would be the lesson for life that I tell my kids.
Yeah. And isn't that a hard thing when you got kids and they're friends and they feel, this need to, maybe, perform or to be in this certain circle? Like how do you give it to them in such a way where it's like, okay, this really does matter. Like who I hang around with, that matters. Is that something that you just constantly drill into their heads, or is it a place where you just, you put your arm around them and say, hey, why are you hanging out with these people?
It depends on what age they are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at certain ages, we have more control. We're blessed to live in our dream house. And my wife would always say, hey, I never want to move till the kids go to college. And I always say, unless I need to move them out of the influence of negative friends and negative people, because I can never overcome that. But as they get older, it is a matter of meeting them where they're at and allowing them to make their choices, explaining to them the lessons and the stories in your life that hopefully will empower them to learn from your mistakes, explaining to them that they don't have to pay the dummy tax. If they want to, they can. And I don't want them to feel bad about paying the dummy tax themselves. I don't want them to feel bad about wanting to learn themselves. And I'm not an I told you so person. I'm simply a person who shares lessons and stories to my children, especially so that they can make decisions based off of their values, their daily practices, and their own execution model. And I am all for pain to indicate that you have a lesson to learn. I prefer to teach you the lesson via the stories and the pain that I've been through. But if you'd like to experience the pain yourself, that's your choice. And I make it quite apparent and raise their awareness to pain as an indicator and allowing them to experience pain themselves to protect and promote them the way those pains in my life, those setbacks, failures, and mistakes and successes have promoted and protected me to the place that I'm at today in a capable position to empower others to be happy.
Yeah, David, I think that's a powerful thing that you said, that you'd be willing, like your wife's in the dream spot, dream home, don't want to move until the kids graduate, but you're saying like, hey, if I need to move my kids from an environment, a toxic environment, I'd be willing to do that. And that speaks to me, because that's exactly what my parents did when I was a sophomore in high school in San Diego, making really dumb decisions. And my parents said, nope, we're taking you. We literally sold the house, put everything on the street, sold it that week. We moved up to Washington State and got a brand new start. And it was a trajectory for my life that changed it forever, and my brothers had to dream, that I would have been dead unless we made that move, years later. So it was, so you willing to do that says, obviously you love your kids, but it says it means a lot to, to be willing to go to that length, especially with the situation that you guys have created for yourselves. So one last question. So what's the dream for you and your wife? You said you've made over 100 million, you lost it and you got it back and way more than that. So what's the dream? What do you really, for you and your wife, what's the dream for you guys?
Well, I think, understanding how I see things, I believe that, we deal with today in a trajectory of where we want to be. So my wife and I have short-term, midterm, and long-term objectives. Short-term is to empower our children, empower others to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Our midterm goal is when my son, goes to college. My wife and I will travel the world, I already speak 3 times a week around the world. I'm leaving tomorrow for Sydney, then to Bali, then coming back to VCon, and then over to a variety of different places, Collision, etc. But we will travel around the world together, specifically doing what I do from the road, and then visiting all 4 of our children wherever they live. 2 are in Manhattan, and then the ones at Wisconsin right now is going to be a sophomore next year. So that's a midterm. And then the long-term goal is to leave a legacy of those values, daily practices, and execution model to our children, to empower them to take the wealth that we've built and to exponentially allow it to aggregate, compound, and accelerate, so that they too can carry forward and be one of the 1,000s that empower thousands, that empower thousands to help create a collective consciousness of happiness on earth and even beyond. So we're very clear. We do say, think, believe, and feel together today.
Yeah.
The trajectory of what we think we want in the future. Both of us, as we've lived life, we know there's life and there's life circumstances. And when the life circumstances change, like it did for you and your parents, we're going to go ahead and utilize gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration in order to effectuate a better place, a better position to be in. And we'll continue to adapt with inside what exists outside of us. And it's worked really well. We've been married 25 years, best decision I've ever made. I will tell you, we both have that in common. I had to move from San Diego as well because I had surrounded myself with the wrong people and the wrong ideas. And it was the best move of my life to move up to Orange County, although we still have a property in South Mission Beach and we visit down there. We had to extract me because of my friends. Just like your parents extracted you, and it was the best decision. The first best decision was my mom moving us from Akron to San Diego, and then my wife moving us from San Diego to Orange County. So I know that feeling, and I congratulate and encourage other parents to be like your parents and my wife, to go ahead and take control of your life through gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication.
Yeah, no, that's really powerful, David. So I appreciate your time. And I had one last encouraging word when I was thinking about this talk, and it was that I believe that your word is like an echo, right? And it's echoing at the mountaintops and at the valleys in people's lives. And the reason why I say echo is because I believe it's going to echo for generations to come. And just like your goal is to have people, you want to impact them, 1 billion people by someone impacting 1,000 people, and that kind of having that effect. And I believe that your words and the things that you speak and the things that you're teaching are going to echo for generations to come. And so I just wanted to encourage you with that, and I appreciate your time today with us. And one last time, where can people find that gift that you had for us?
Yeah, no problem. Email me is the easiest way. If you forget the email, then just Google David Meltzer, but it's David@dmeltzer.com, David@dmeltzer.com. I will give everyone that guide on asking for help, as well as my book. I will sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book, David@dmeltzer.com. Thanks for allowing me to share the lessons and the stories here on your platform, Kyle. I look forward to being of service and of value to you. Hopefully we can get you in our circles of people and ideas. We'd love to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, David. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.